Hey guys, welcome back to another video on this channel. And I just want to say I have some terrible news other than the screw being in the way in the shot. Let me move that. Pretty much 90% of what I have uploaded on this channel, like stereo equipment, anything, has came from this one specific Goodwill where I used to live. And I use the word used to. That was an awesome Goodwill. I've never seen a Goodwill like it. It had like almost all vintage, like electronic equipment for a while. Yeah, vintage stereo equipment, vintage. I think I got an older RC car there. I collect those. Yeah, it was just a great store. Bad news is that I am getting close to graduating from college, and I had to move away from that Goodwill. So that is unfortunate. I do not feel like driving almost 2 hours to go there. So I feel like I just like lost, I don't know, a girlfriend. Not really. That was just a really good Goodwill though. Like it was like the stuff. Like you go to some Goodwills and it's just like super expensive. This one wasn't that. It was all reasonably priced and it was all older, cool electronic stuff. So yeah, that is unfortunate. Anyways, this didn't come from the Goodwill. This came from a online Facebook auction page that I am in. So how it works is people post stuff throughout the week on there, and then on Friday night I have an alarm set for 5:50 because at 6 o'clock, that is like when you get all your bids in. So at 6:01 the auctions end, and like whoever wins it meets Saturday morning the next day, actually in the parking lot of the Harbor Freight here in town. It used to be at the old mall, but they got ran off, which I get because a bunch of people from Facebook were congregating in like the mall parking lot and the fish restaurant or like the seafood restaurant. It was just kind of a big mess. So this came from there, and it was advertised as working and playing like AM only well, which was like, okay, that's cool. It looks pretty. It's an old Zenith. We got an old like Zenith. Was like the big TVs over there that basically look like a piece of furniture. Got one of those over there, so I thought it looked nice with it. So at 6 o'clock, I threw a bid of $14, I think, and I won it. But I got there, and the guy said that they powered it up this morning and it couldn't work, and for $5 I could have it anyway. So I took it because it's cool. Yeah, it's got this really pretty like gold backing. The like screen, not screen. The plastic covering is in really nice shape on it. Actually, you can see that Zenith is stamped in on the plastic, and everything is like really nice. It's actually in good shape. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm stuttering. It probably wouldn't hurt to be taken apart and cleaned. As you can see right there, it's got some stuff in there. And I powered it up. I'll show you what it did here in a second. This is kind of like This is kind of like a I need advice video because this has tubes inside of it, and I ain't got a clue what any of that means. So from the information I got, this is from the late 50s to the mid 60s. And they're actually worth quite a bit in working condition. Like a parts one of these, like just for parts, I saw a couple that sold anywhere from $40 to $60 on eBay. So I don't know what it's going to do because this is also an alarm clock, and when I plugged it in the first time, the alarm went off and it scared the crap out of me. Okay, it did nothing. Also, the first time we plugged it in, all the stuff inside got warm, and oh, it is working right there. All the stuff inside got really warm, and like it started to smell like the house was going to burn down. And we couldn't figure out what the hot smelling was, but it was this. So I don't know if you hear that, but there is like a little static coming out right now. Oh, it's picking up something. I hear somebody talking. It wasn't doing that before. There's the alarm. So I'm not sure what that's supposed to do. It says on and auto. I think that may be just for the alarm. Over here, this isn't correlating with what I would imagine is like your tuner. When this moves, that doesn't. But it is picking up a signal because I'll shut up here in a second, but there is somebody kind of talking in there. I think that's picking up WBRF, which that means nothing to you guys, but that is a local AM station around here, so that's pretty cool. I mean, if you want just like a white noisemaker, this is perfect. Ignore the workbench. This is where I work on RC cars. Since I got kicked out of my apartment, not really, I just moved. I lost my recording area, which is going to be kind of sad watching this videos back, but I also hated that sound, so not really. Okay, so we're just going to zoom in right here, because why not? The camera's actually picking up pretty good, but you see right there, it says Zenith. Can't see that as good in person. I think this is for your alarm, maybe. Yeah, it has some literature right there if you guys want to try to read that. Telling you basically don't take it apart with it plugged in. It's 100 watts, 50, I can't read that. It's got something right there. I like buying these. I like working on them, but I don't know how to diagnose any of this. I can turn a screwdriver is what I mean. That's about it. So I would imagine this is supposed to correlate to this and your tuner. Since we're picking up something like a channel, I'm gonna say the radio itself is fine, or like the antenna. I don't know. Just there's something going on with being able to tune this, and I know some old receivers. I know some older receivers have like a little wire that goes around that connect. Why is it getting louder? 98.3. It's actually coming around. Anyways, I know there's a little wire that connects like your knob to dial to like a bunch of stuff in there. Maybe that's the same way. I don't know. Doesn't feel like it's connected to anything, but on the inside, when I take it apart, it does. You can see it spinning. Is what I'm trying to say. Take it apart. It does need a really good cleaning, which I will probably do if one of you guys like shoot some recommendations where I can start working on it. Maybe not. I don't know. This is also from like the early era where companies was learning about plastic and everything had to be plastic. So this right here is actually like a wood material. The whole thing is plastic, which is unfortunate. Which I guess if it was wood too, you know, it also had a equally not as good chance of being around. Yeah, so there we go. This just conveniently unplugged itself, but that's the plug-in. Just plugs in right there. Yeah, so needs a dusting, but I'm kind of scared to touch stuff like this because I know on old CRTs, something can bite you, as in like shock you to the point where you no longer exist. So, don't know. That's pretty cool though. I feel good about getting that off of there. Model L516. That's a little schematic, I imagine. Yeah, so it's got tubes and stuff. That's pretty cool. I don't know what those do, but I do know I've heard of them before is what I mean by that. And I'm going to spin the tuner knob up front. Okay, so we're focusing on there we go. You can see that spinning. Past that, I don't think that's getting anywhere. So yeah, this is a Zenith. I haven't even told you what it is. I'll put it in the title. I did have it researched earlier. Something about like the static and like the radio coming in behind it on this thing just, it looks and sounds cool right now. Anyways, if you guys have any recommendations on what could be wrong with it, let me know in the comments. Yeah, that's my latest purchase that I probably shouldn't have purchased because we're actively trying to get rid of stuff. But it was too cool to just leave there. So yeah, thanks for watching.